Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is the Haves and the Have-Nots, Season 5, Episode 21, and the name of this episode is Kate. Man, this episode was really good, and it's just getting better, and I think we have, after this one, I think we have one more episode before the season finale. So, shit is really gonna get heated with this show. So, let me get started. The episode opens up from where it left off at the Malone restaurant. There was a massive shootout. War and his boys have been completely wiped out, as well as some other, innocent bystanders who were in the restaurant at the time of the shootout. So, Mama Rose enters. They pretty much have Erika. They pretty much got Erika sitting there, like completely shook. And we see that Tony as well as Mitch is there. Mama Rose walks in and said, you want us to kill her too? And then Mitch is kind of giving that look, and we see that Erika is shook for dear life. She no longer has that beast war protecting her, so she is literally out on her own, and now she's surrounded by the mob. She literally pissed in her dress. She was that damn scared. And Mitch pretty much says, nah, let her go. And she hauled ass. She hauled ass up out of there. And as a matter of fact, I don't blame her. Shoot, after all of that, you better get the fuck on. So, pretty much, we see that, Mitch tells Mama Rose he's sorry for shooting up her new restaurant. She's like, hey, it's okay. Don't be sorry. It is messed up. I mean, at the end of the day, it's good thing I own the damn restaurant, or it probably would have been an issue. But hey, it is what it is. And she says, so is that him? And he's like, yeah, that's him. She's like, good. And she's like, thank you. And he's like, don't mention it. And she's like, oh yeah, and thank Candace too. Immediately, Rich is like, how the hell you know Candace? She's been here before. And she's like, and also let her know that I owe her. So, yeah, we're good. But yeah. And then he apologizes. I'm sorry for the mess in the restaurant. She's like, don't mention it. It's all good, And then as soon as he leaves or whatever, she's like, now who's gonna come in here and clean this shit up? I love this Mama Rose. She is so edgy, and just the whole characterization of her face is just everything for this role. She's really good. And she just had me cracking up so who's gonna clean this shit up? It's just like another day on the job for her. So next we see that Mitch is in the car with Candace. They're talking, and she actually tells him thank you. She was saying that I'm glad he's dead. The fool killed my son. And I thank you for taking care of me. And pretty much she's like, look, and then Mitch pretty much says it seems like I'm pretty much now part of the family business, and she's like, it ain't too bad. And then Candace is like, is that a bad thing? I mean, after all, they help take care of this. You know what I'm saying? It seems to me they're gonna always have your back, so why not? But then she again was like, thank you, because that bastard killed my son. And he's like, look, you saved a lot of other, children tonight. And she's like, oh yeah, I know, because, War was a drug dealer and he sold drugs. Like, no. You remember Bloody Thursday? And she's like, yeah. it was going to be another one of those if she didn't find war. So you saved a lot of people's lives by bringing war directly to that damn restaurant. So, and you pretty much delivered them. And she says she wants to thank you in person. And she's like, I don't think that's a good idea. She's like, I don't think you want to, leave her waiting. Or, because, there are rules to this shit. She's like, I don't think it's a good idea. And he's like, and then all of a sudden he was like, but how do you know her anyway? And she said, she kidnapped me, for Jim Cryer. She pretty much was in the basement of the restaurant. And he's like, you're lucky, because people who go to the basement usually don't walk out of there. So you're lucky. But she says that, but he said, you should have called me. She's like, look, after that whole situation, I lost everything. I ain't have nowhere to turn. And I just did what I had to do. So that's what happened. But then again, he had let her know that, look, she says she owes you. That might come in handy when you need it. So keep that in mind. And then he pretty much pulls off and takes her back to the Artesian Hotel. Then we get a scene with Benny and Hannah. She picks up Benny from the jail. They pretty much get in the, she actually asks Benny to drive. Probably because she was tired. But first I thought that was kind of weird. But anyway, they pretty much have a conversation, and she kind of, lets him know that Candace called, and that Candace pretty much blamed her for Quincy dying, saying that she didn't protect him, and that, she's upset, saying that I should have been shot instead of him, and, and like pretty much she pretty much states that what she did was she told Candace on the phone that, look, I was covering him. I practically laid on that boy, and I don't know how he got shot and I didn't. I really don't know. I'm like, with all them hazel bullets, yeah, you're right. There was a spirit protecting her. But then, we actually see in this scene, and this scene was a really hard scene too, because, and shout out to Crystal Fox and Tyler Lepley. I mean, they did a really good job in this scene. But Hannah is spiritually broken to the point where she's just out of it. And she's pretty much saying, like, she's beginning to kind of blame herself for Quincy's death after her conversation with Candace. And then he's like, come on, Candace is just upset. You cannot blame yourself for this. This was not your fault. And then Benny had mentioned that, we should go to church. And she's like, I'm not going to church. No, that ain't happening. She says that, look, I'm out of it. I'm out of patience. I'm out of prayer, and I'm out of faith. I'm checked out. I'm not dealing with that. But then Benny kind of reminds her of something, like, remember what you told me, that no matter how bad things get, God will always make a way. But she's like, look, you don't understand. I'm tired. I'm just tired of everything. It just go from struggling to struggling, and it just never ends. I'm tired. But I'm gonna get on Hannah later on. Trust me, I'm really gonna get on her on this review, because she deserves to get read. Then we see that Benny starts to say the Lord's Prayer, and he's trying to remember parts of it, and you can definitely tell Benny, is not really into religion, but he definitely remembers the Lord's Prayer, and he's saying it, and you see that Hannah's not saying anything. He's saying, Mama, help me, Mama, help me. She is so shut down, she ain't even responding to him, because God, Hannah was always pulling at that Bible in the name of Jesus. I mean, she was always, checking everybody with that Bible, and wasn't afraid to do it. But at this moment, it's like she had nothing, and he's saying, Mama, help me, Mama, help me. But you can see her tearing up. So she hasn't completely given up on God, but right now she's angry with him. And sometimes that happens. But, she just was at that point, was just really shut down and just completely. She was just at that point where she just really had no more to give. Then we get a scene with Erika and David. Now, Erika is scared shitless. She is packing her stuff and is trying to get the hell up out of there. David immediately is like, David comes, to the hotel, to our hotel room, and he's like immediately like, wants to help her and is like wondering what's going on, what happened, and then he sees that she was bruised in the face, from when Candace slapped her. All of a sudden, but then at first he's thinking like, did Veronica hit you? And she's like, no, nothing like that. And David immediately is like ready to defend her at all costs because he's obviously developed feelings for her, and she's still with the bullshit because at the end, because all of a sudden she says that I didn't tell you everything about me. I have a fiance and he beats me, and I need to get away, and he kept asking what is his name, and she's like, just help me, she's like, well, how can you help me? He's like, I can help you because I'm a former judge, I can make things happen, and and I can actually put you someplace safe. She's like, will you give me money? He's like, yeah, of course I can give you money. He's like, but you need to tell me his name. And she's like, I can't tell you that. So I'm like, yo, this damn girl knows how to work a fucking trick, because she is working the shit out of David. Like, no, bruh, the damn mob ain't after her. Candace is after her, and due to the fact that she sat up in there with War, and now War got annihilated right in front of her face, she knows that there are daggers coming for her, and she needs to haul ass before, Candace get to her. But because Candace definitely did enough to shake her up, because she was shook. And, he pretty much gets her out of there and says that he's going to help her. And then she's like, can we go through the back way? Normally she, is beat for the guys and likes to be seen. Now she want to take the service elevator and go out the back way. She don't want nobody to see her now. So I was like, see, that's what happens when you try to play big when you're really small. Boo-boo. So we got that going on. Then we get this scene with Melissa, her mother, I think her mother name is Diane, and Veronica. This scene was funny, and it just goes to show that Veronica don't give a F. Don't give a rat's ass about nobody. Like, she is that heartless and that evil. Because, she pretty much brings back Melissa, and Diana's like, oh yeah, she'll never do this again. Everything, I got her together. She's gonna do right. And she's like, while I hope, she gets it that she should never do this again. She's like, oh, she gets it. Everything's okay. And then, all of a sudden she said that, yes, she's just upset about her father dying. And she was like, oh, so how's his funeral thing going? And she's like, oh, well, she's like, well, go ahead, spit it out. What's going on? She's like, well, his insurance didn't cover everything, and, so she's like, okay, so you expect me to do something about that? I mean, and then like Diane was like, look, I'm actually gonna be selling the house, so I can pay you the mortgage, and I'm gonna go live with my sister or whatever. And she's like, you know what? How much is it? How much do you need? And she's like, well, I'll get a total and get back to you. She's like, I know you will. And she's like, is dinner here? It's like, you making dinner? And she's like, yeah, I am making dinner. She's like, okay. She's like, well, okay. And she's like, good night. I was like, you cold bitch. Oh, that was so messed up. I was like, damn, you ain't even gonna let her eat? Like, she's pretty much doing what you want. She's brought back Melissa, you know, and is literally giving her daughter to you, and you won't even fix her a plate? Like, that is so cruddy. And then all of a sudden she's like, okay. And then you just kind of see her just being this nervous chick, and she just gets up out of there. Like, Veronica got Diane shook. And then all of a sudden she left. She's like, oh my God, that bitch will even get on the Nat's nerve. You know, like, why is she acting like this, all scared and all shook? Like, what is she? What? She got Tourette's syndrome or something? What's wrong with her? And then Melissa's like, she's disabled. She's like, ratchet ass female. See, that's the problem. See, that's why I be trying to tell you young ghetto hoes. I be trying to tell y'all need to lay off all them carbs and processed foods, or you're gonna end up all shooken up like her sorry ass. And I was like, oh, Veronica, you are so wrong. And you know, she even put on the front that, oh yes, you know, the maid cleaned everything and made her mother think that everything was cool. She takes Melissa upstairs. She pretty much takes her to the room. The blood-stained sheets are still there. It's like, oh, you think I was going to have the maid clean that? She talks too much. And I damn sure wasn't cleaning it. So now you know what goes down when you mess up in my house. She says, I want you to clean this whole bed. There not better be a speck of red anywhere. And you know, and if anything, I hope you're worth it, because this grandchild better be healthy, and this child better be cute. So I hope you're worth it, and if you're wise, you'll make sure that there will be no red when I come back to this room. And left her in there to clean it. I'm like, this girl just committed suicide, and you are still tormenting her, you know, to the core. And I'm like, Veronica, you gonna get yours, girl, and you definitely deserve to get knocked down again, because it seems like every time you rise, you do nothing but bring hell to somebody. Crazy as hell. So then we get a scene between Charles and Candace, and in this scene we can tell Charles is developing feelings for Candace. And he was saying that, you know, I was trying to get back to you. He's like, because he pretty much says that he's been waiting for her to get back or whatever. And he lets her know that he's about to finish his campaign trail, and his next stop is New York. But he says that, you know, he was like, look, I can push things aside so I can stay here longer so I can spend some time with you. And she's like, that is not a good idea. You should do what you got to do or whatever. And she's like, well, yeah, that's right. You know, I understand. You know, you just lost your son. And he's like, look, he's dead, and there's nothing I can do about it. Because, you know, that's just how Candace responds to death. You know, she is like water under the bridge. She's going to keep moving forward. And she's like, well, maybe, like, do you want to talk about it? She's like, what? You mean like a doctor or something? And he was like, well, you can talk to me. And she's like, are you a doctor? He was like, no, I'm not. But if I was, I'll probably have a very big bill by now. And she kind of gave him that look like, you really trying me at this moment? And he's like, look, he was saying that, look, I'm just going to be real, you know. Nobody's ever made me feel the way you do. You know, I got all these women lined up, but I don't want any of them, because they may have the posh, they may have, you know, the glitz and the glam, but they don't have your edge. They don't have the guts, and they don't have the heart. You are better than all of them, and no woman has made me feel this way ever. You know, and he says that, you know, I know we started off on the wrong way, but, you know, just right now I really am trying to be honest. And she said, you were honest before. And he was like, what? Like, yeah, you told me the truth before. You know, you told me everything, that you hate this, that you hate being in this position that you're in. You just want to sometimes just disappear. You were honest about that. The person that you showed me when you decided to flip the script on me, that's the person you were trained to be. But that's not who you are. The person I met at that bar and had a drink with, that's the real you. And he's like, see, that's just it, Candace. You get me. You see me. You really do see me. And I mean, so therefore, you know, we actually see that, yeah, he really does have and like pretty much he just says that, you know, as far as everyone else, he feels like he's invisible, but Candace is the only person that really sees him for who he is. And he's like, you know, won't you come with me? And she's like, why don't you give it all up and stay here with me? And he's like, you know, I can't do that, but you know, I wish I could. And he said that, but maybe you can come and visit me, you know, come up and link up with me soon. He's like, and she's like, well, before or after I bury my son. And you can definitely tell that he's like, okay, I'll give you time to give your son, but I'll be in touch. But you can tell he's pretty much somewhat kind of groveling a little bit, because he really is in love with her. So pretty much we see that Hannah brings Benny back to Katheryn's place, and he tells Hannah that he'll be back in a few, and she's like, for what? And she says, I gotta go talk to Veronica. She's like, oh, okay. And he's like, look, I just gotta, you know, deal with some stuff with her, you know, as far as that. There's nothing going on. She's like, yeah, whatever. So it's like, Hannah don't care. She's just at his place, and she just don't care. But in this scene, she really started to piss me off. And I'm definitely going to get on it. Because, but then he mentions that, look, and you see that Katheryn finally comes in and she sits down with them, and she's like, look, Candace needs to be a part of this funeral, so I'm definitely going to talk to her and get in touch with her. And she's like, really? She wanted to help bury him, but she wasn't there when he was alive. He's like, look, regardless of that, she's still his mother. She should be a part of this. She's family. And she's like, whatever. And I was just like, Hannah was just tripping. And pretty much, then Hannah, then like, you know, Katheryn was like, she pretty much mentions that, you know, they pretty much got him in the funeral home, that he's going to need some clothes or whatever, and I didn't want to make that decision without you guys, so I wanted to leave that to you, so we need to go to the funeral home and make those arrangements. So then her and Hannah start, so therefore Benny leaves, and then Hannah and Katheryn start talking. And I was so here for Katheryn in this scene, because she literally let Hannah have it. Because Hannah is so self-righteous and so full of herself at times that I just sometimes want to take a Bible and just beat her in the head with it. Like, girl, what is wrong with you? You so holier than thou and supposed to be so a woman of God, but you don't even see God when he's blessing you. You immediately just go, I want to do this myself. I don't want nobody giving me no handouts. Because Katheryn has said that, look, I burnt down the house, but, you know, with my father's money, I can be able to rebuild it, and I'll move in it, and then, you know, I'm giving you this place. And she's like, oh, no, I can't take this from you. And she's like, why not? It's like, I need to work for my money. She's like, well, fine, I'll get you a job. You can come back and work for me, and, you know, instead of me paying you, we can just add it to, you know, your expenses till you had the place paid off. And then she's like, I don't know about that. And then she's like, well, fine, if you don't want to do that, then we can go to the bank and we can get you a loan and you can pay the bank back. And she's like, I don't have no credit. Katheryn's like, I'm on the board. I can make it happen. And then she's like, you know, why are you doing this to me? I'm like, why are you doing this to me? What you think? And it's like, you know, she's like, wait, you think you my Lord and Savior? What, you think I need sympathy? And I'm like, if you don't shut the hell up, Hannah. Like, seriously, what is your problem, girl? She is actually showing you that she cares and that she is one person that is willing to be there for you regardless, because that's the same place that she offered you before. And as a matter of fact, if you actually took Quincy, that little Q there, versus the fountain drop, little Q will probably be alive. Yeah, go back and watch that if you guys missed that. You know, a few episodes back, I think it was last season, when Q was at Katheryn's house, and she said that, look, I got a little rent, I pretty much got, like, you know, some rental property. You and little Q can stay there. And she's like, oh no, I can't. Oh no. So you took him to that dump of a motel where he got killed. Not saying it's your fault, but if you would have saw God earlier, maybe the situation would have changed and little Q would have still been here. So yeah, Hannah was really making me mad. And then all of a sudden, I was so here for Katheryn, because Katheryn began to get her together and was like, you know what? Would you be saying all this to me if I was black? And she's like, what does that have to do with it? She says, a lot, actually, because you broke my heart when you told me that you weren't my slave. And she's like, well, that's how I felt at the moment. She's like, I can understand that. But she said, you just don't understand how much you mean to me. You have given me more love than anybody in my family. You washed the blood out of my nightgown when I had cancer. You were praying over me even when you didn't think I noticed. I did. And you brought peace in my life when I was surrounded by all this hell that my family was putting me through. Like, you just don't know how much you mean to me. And for you, all this is a lot. All this stuff you see, this is nothing to me. You know, I am grateful to have you in my life, and I love you. You know, and on top of it, it's okay for someone to give you a handout. It's okay. It's okay to accept a gift. It's okay to let someone help you. And she's like, well, let me think about it. You know, and I'm just like, Hannah, cut it out. But then she explained that, you know, she wants to get past his funeral, and then she'll worry about things then. So then we saw that go down. Then we see that Benny calls Candace and lets her know about the funeral and everything like that. And he said that, you know, him and Mom was on the way to get her. She's like, oh, no. Text me the address and I'll meet you there. So that's what's going to happen with that. Then we actually see that while Benny's on the phone, Jim Cryer walks up in there and he's like, who are you? He's like, I'm Benny, and you are Jim Cryer. And I'm like, Jim, don't come in there starting no shit. You just walked up in there and you already trying to, you know, you're already trying to pull up your damn belt. Sit the hell down. Then we see that, you know, Hannah and Katheryn come out, and then all of a sudden she's like, what the hell are you doing here? Get the hell out of my house. And he's like, how the hell did you find me? Well, honey, it's not like you're that hard to track. So I'm like, Jim is a damn mess. And then all of a sudden, he's like, and then all of a sudden, Hannah's like, look, I'm gonna go and let you guys talk. And she's like, no, don't leave me here with him. Stay here. And she's like, look, I gotta go to the funeral home. I gotta take care of this. But yeah, meet me over there. You know, we'll deal with this. But yeah, you and Jim need to talk. So she leaves, and she's like, and all of a sudden he's like, you burned my house down. And she's like, yeah, I did. you know, we had to burn to get rid of the evidence. And he's like, think about it, honey. The furniture is in storage. There's a lot of evidence in that furniture, so really you burnt the house for no reason, because we still have the stuff in, we still have the stuff in the storage, and it's evidence through all of that stuff. So what was the point? Well, she's like, well, I burnt it hoping that your ass was in it. You know, I'm sick of your shit. You know, get the hell out of my house, and you know, get the hell on, you know, and get the fuck on. And then, like, all of a sudden he's like, you know what? You're just being really crazy, Katheryn. I don't understand this. It's like you're starting to become more and more crazy after you started hanging out with that bitch again. But he said that, look, we need to have a round table, me, you, David, and Veronica, as to what we're going to do about this situation. And she's like, I don't care what happens. She's like, you can go to jail, Katheryn. She's like, so what? Okay. It don't matter. And then all of a sudden he starts saying that, look, you know, I love you, Kate. I love you. And she's like, man, you don't fucking love me. You love your whores. Won't you go be with one of them? He's like, I don't give a damn about those whores. I love you, Kate, and you know you love me. And she's like, I loathe you. And then the next thing you know, he starts putting them damn Big Daddy moves on her, and then he like pinning her down on the bed and starts kissing her. It's like, you know, I miss you, Kate. I was like, see, Jim, that's how you got Katheryn. You start putting that wood on her, and that's how you got her. That's pretty much how he always gets her. But I think, like, Katheryn, because we see this in the next episode, Katheryn lets fucking Jim have it. So I'm waiting for that. But that's my review, y'all. So yeah, he pretty much pinned her down, and they end up having sex. So that's where it ended. But if I missed anything, put it down in the comments. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of the Haves and the Have-Nots. Man, this show is getting better and better, y'all. So until then, everybody, take care.